Hi, this is Dan from HR. If you don't know me, I suggest you check out my welcome video, but I'm an HR business partner with almost 20 years of experience building workforce models for companies such as WebMD, Electronic Arts, and Spotify. I've resigned from corporate America and now dedicate my time making content and providing information to how corporations really work. My first few videos are going to be focused primarily on the job search, everything from resumes, cover letters, interviews, to salary negotiation. Essentially, all of the biggest frustration points that a lot of candidates seem to experience and that there doesn't seem to be a lot of information on as it relates to how these things really work. So without further ado, let's get into today's video, the truth about cover letters. I am consistently bombarded with questions about cover letters, anything from the length, the style, the format, how to craft each paragraph, how to make sure that you tailor each cover letter to each role. And in this episode, I'm going to address all of those questions, but I want to caveat with one really important point first. As it relates to most medium and large-sized public U.S. corporations, cover letters are for the most part useless. The biggest value in cover letters are not actually in helping you get employment, but instead they're a pretty clever marketing tool by people who run resume and cover letter writing services. They'll usually sell you a story on how their one client got the dream job because of an ace cover letter. This is usually bullshit. The original purpose of a cover letter was that it provided an additional document to your resume and application, and it gave a small personal touch for the reader, giving an opportunity to allow for a personal connection by having the applicant explain their interest in the role and company and how their experience would add value. But this was prior to the current technology that allows such a large candidate pool of applicants through ATS. Cover letters were a nice idea and are still considered as expected for certain industries, such as in academia or some sciences, industries that don't usually have a high candidate pool. However, the truth of the matter is that most cover letters are not read for most positions because of the sheer amount of applicants. Consider a role that may have 8,000 applicants. The sourcers and the recruiters are not going to be spending time looking over cover letters. They're going to be doing quick parsing and analyzing of your resume and application keywords to instead gauge fit for the position. Frankly speaking, I'm fully supportive of the cover letter falling into the wayside of the past because candidates are asked to do enough. Not only do you have to write an ATS-compliant, keyword-heavy resume, it's also expected that you have an up-to-date LinkedIn profile that shows how you're connected to current trends and industries. Additionally, when you apply for a position, you have to go through the company's 1-hour application process, which will usually destroy your resume format and likely will ask all of the same questions that a cover letter usually addresses. To ask for another piece of information that's basically covered in all of these other portions just seems like a huge waste of time. Candidates have more than enough to do and more than enough information available that companies should not expect cover letters without a very specific instruction in the job application on what the cover letter should address. All that being said, a cover letter is not going to directly harm your chances of employment. It's usually a nice to have at most, and more often than not, it's simply discarded. If you do want to submit a cover letter or a job description demands one, this is the generally accepted format. Start with your general introduction and why you're interested in applying for the role. Talk more in depth about your interest, about how you like the company or the product, or what about the job description appealed to you. Talk about your experience, what you have done, what you have accomplished, and then use the last paragraph to connect those. Talk about how your experience and how your skills will benefit the company. And then, of course, your standard ending of choice. So just to remind us of our big takeaways, the purpose of a cover letter is to allow a small personal connection between the applicant and the company. It's still expected in certain roles and positions that usually have small candidate pools. Most cover letters are not read, especially if an organization utilizes ATS. If you want to submit a cover letter, it won't hurt your chances and just use the standard format. Fifth and most important, cover letter writing is a business. The most vocal proponents of cover letters are usually cover letter writers. Don't buy into the hype that it's used to sell someone's product. All of this content is really designed for you, so thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to check out the others, follow me on social media, I'm especially active on TikTok, and let me know what topics and questions you'd like me to cover and if you happen to like this animated style. Thanks again!